Okay, Sarah, take it away. Let's get our afternoon started.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Hannah. Good afternoon, and thank you for attending today's webinar on feeding kids through the child nutrition programs during the novel coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic. IDOE has received many questions from our sponsors about feeding children during this unanticipated school closure. We've been in constant contact with USDA and are regularly receiving updates and guidance to share with child nutrition program sponsors. We recognize and appreciate all the hard work and efforts our sponsors have taken in order to feed kids during this time. So we will continue to provide guidance, resources, and information to help sponsors effectively and efficiently feed kids here in Indiana. And this is a partnership, as you guys can tell, between No Kids Hungry and the Dairy Association Indiana and the Indiana Department of Education. So hopefully we'll be able to provide you with some really great information today. So since school sponsors are participating in the child nutrition programs are closed due to COVID-19, they may continue to serve meals to children affected by school closures through the Summer Food Service Program, SFSP, Seamless Summer Option, SSO, or National School Lunch Program, NSLP. Since the unanticipated closures began, USDA has issued additional waivers and information to help sponsors feed students in their communities. There are a variety of options for implementing meal programs in the community depending on the site's free and reduced percentage, census data, or other information. So reach out to your field specialist to discuss options. A flexibility USDA recently announced for sponsors is called Emergency Meals to You, or EMTY. EMTY provides weekday meals to students who are eligible for free or reduced meals during the school year, but are currently not receiving meals. EMTY mails 10 breakfasts and 10 lunches every 2 weeks directly to the student's home while schools are closed due to COVID-19. To be eligible, sponsors must have at least 50% of enrollment eligible for free reduced price meals or be operating the Community Eligibility Provision, CEP, and fall under the designation of rural, which can be found in our newsletter. Submission of an application does not mean that the school will be approved. If the school's application is approved, the school would work directly with the Emergency Meals to You staff, not with the state agency. The state agency will be reviewing the application for accuracy, verifying that the school is in good standing, it's in a rural area, has a high percentage of free and reduced, etc. So check out the COVID-19 newsletter and website for instructions on how to apply and for the frequently asked questions. Questions about EMTY, please contact Marcia Yurchek at myurcyk@doe.in.gov. Sponsors need to ensure their CNPweb applications, whether operating NSLP, SSO, or SFSP, are updated. Keep in mind those who were approved at the beginning of this closure might have indicated meal service until the beginning of April. If operating days have been extended, this needs to be revised in the CNPweb. Also, if meal service information has changed, such as the type of meals or times, please update the sheets accordingly. If you're requesting the And Justice for All AJFA posters for COVID-19 meal sites, please know that USDA is currently allowing flexibility with displaying the posters. The flexibility allows sponsors to print their own copies to display. The AJFA poster must be predominantly displayed in all facilities and locations that distribute USDA Child Nutrition Program benefits or administer services. Posters should be displayed outside near the distribution sites for parents and guardians to easily view. Reminders, meals delivered from stationary vans or buses should display the poster. For vehicles making door-to-door stop deliveries at home and businesses, the AJFA poster does not need to be displayed. And if you have additional questions regarding displaying posters, feel free to reach out to Maggie Schabel at shable@doe.in.gov. And then to print the AJFA poster, visit the IDOE Civil Rights webpage. There's also a direct link in the newsletter. USDA foods allocations will end this month on Thursday, April 30th for school year 2019 through 2020. Please continue to monitor inventory through that date. The assigned warehouses, Dilgard, Stans, McFarling, and Wabash will continue to make deliveries for school food orders until Tuesday, June 30th. If already on the USDA Department of Defense Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Program, DoD Fresh, and need additional entitlement, please contact Linda Smith at lrsmith@doe.in.gov, listing the additional funding that the school is requesting. And if you're not currently on DoD Fresh, but are interested in using entitlement to purchase fresh fruits and vegetables, please complete the form that is in our newsletter and submit to Cheryl Moore at cmoore@doe.in.gov. And forms will be accepted until 4:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, April 22nd, 2020. DoD Fresh funds must be spent no later than Tuesday, June 30th, 2020 for this school year. Recommendations have been released for schools who wish to, let's see. Got excited. See. Oh, that's not what I want. There we go. Recommendations have been released for schools who wish to offer childcare for essential personnel in collaboration with IDOE, FSSA, and the Governor's Office. If you're interested in hosting a childcare program for essential workers during COVID-19 pandemic, check out the COVID-19 newsletter or contact Nicole Norrell, FSSA Office of Early Childhood and Out-of-School Learning by phone 317-234-3313 or by email nicolenorvell@fssa.in.gov. Now I'm going to go through some common questions we've been receiving. Do households need to take the milk component for a reimbursable meal? Yes, households must take the milk with their meal in order for sponsors to claim that meal for reimbursement. Since sponsors cannot implement offer versus serve, which provides students the ability to decline meal components or food items, the full meal must be taken by the household, including milk, to be reimbursable. Can school food service employees wear face coverings to prevent exposure to COVID-19? Yes, the CDC released an updated recommendation regarding the use of cloth face coverings to help slow the spread of COVID-19. CDC recommends the use of simple cloth face coverings as a voluntary public health measure in public settings where other social distancing measures are difficult to maintain, i.e. food service operations. For workers in food production and processing who do not typically wear masks as part of their jobs, consider the following if you choose to use the cloth face covering to slow the spread of COVID-19. Maintain face coverings in accordance with parameters in FDA's Model Food Code and clean linens and specifications. Launder reusable face coverings before each daily use. CDC also has additional information on the use of face coverings, including washing instructions and information on how to make homemade face covers. Please note that the cloth face coverings recommended by CDC are not the surgical masks or N95 respirators. Those are critical supplies that need to be continued for the healthcare workers and other medical first responders, as recommended by current CDC guidance. And you can check out that information in our Q&A and newsletter. Under the current nationwide waivers allowing non-congregate feeding and no mealtime restrictions due to COVID-19, may sponsors provide food items in bulk, either through pickup or home delivery without additional waivers. Under the current COVID-19 waivers allowing non-congregate feeding and no mealtime restrictions when providing multiple meals at one time, sponsors may provide bulk items as long as individual meals are easily identifiable. When implementing such a delivery mechanism, sponsors must include the required food components and the proper minimum amounts for each reimbursable meal being claimed. Sponsors need to ensure that food items are clearly identifiable as making up reimbursable meals. Sponsors are strongly encouraged to provide menus with directions indicating which items are to be used for each meal and the correct portion sizes. Sponsors should consider whether whether households have access to refrigeration, stoves, microwaves, etc. when providing food that requires refrigeration or further preparation, such as reheating, and should ensure that only a minimal preparation is required and that food is not being provided as ingredients for recipes that require chopping, mixing, baking, etc. If you have questions, please contact your field specialist. Are sponsors able to continue operating CACFP at-risk after-school meal programs, even if schools are implementing SFSP or SSO? And yes, sponsors are allowed to operate the CACFP at-risk after-school meal programs while schools are closed, even if schools are serving meals under SFSP or SSO. Can a sponsor that participates in both the CACFP at-risk after-school meals program and another reimbursable grab-and-go program, SFSP, SSO, NSLP, provide meals and snacks through both of these programs to each participant? A sponsor, if approved for both programs, can implement at the same or different sites. The sponsor may allow children to pick up multiple meals from each program at one time. However, the maximum number of meals that may be offered to each child may not exceed the number of meals allowed by each program. So under SFSP and SSO, up to 2 meals or 1 meal and 1 snack per child per day in any combination except lunch and supper are allowed. Under CACFP at-risk, up to 1 snack and 1 meal per child per day are allowed. If the sponsor is both operating programs at the same site and all the meals for both programs are picked up at the same time, each program must keep accurate meal counts and claim only the meals served for that specific program. Can sponsors operating during an unanticipated closure through Summer Food Service Program or SSO serve meals on weekends or previously scheduled days off, such as spring break and teacher work days? Yes, sponsors who are currently operating SSO or SFSP may serve meals with state agency approval on days when schools had originally planned to be closed, including weekends, spring break, and other previously scheduled days off. 5 meals were distributed per child on Monday, March 30th for the week. Does the sponsor claim 2 meals in March and 3 meals in April within the CNPweb? No meals should be claimed in the month they are distributed. Since the meals were recorded on the March 30th meal count sheet, the total count of meals distributed that day will be recorded on the March claim. Can the non-for-profit food service account be used to pay for food service employees' salaries during school closures? It is a local decision if food service employees should be paid during school closure. Sponsors should look at their local policies and procedures for employees during school closures. If the sponsor's policy and procedures are to pay for food service employees during a school closure, it is an allowable cost from the nonprofit food service account to pay employees. IDOE understands that some sponsors have dwindling funds and account balances in their nonprofit food service account. We are aware that there is money through the CARES Act for the child nutrition programs, but we have been in constant contact with USDA and the Indiana Budget Agency to see how any money can be used and provided to our Indiana Child Nutrition Program sponsors. IDOE has not received any guidance yet, but as soon as we receive information to help our sponsors, we'll send out information as soon as possible, along with any resources to help sponsors with getting those necessary funds to restore the nonprofit food service account. Should the reimbursement received from serving COVID-19 meals be placed into the nonprofit food service account? Yes. All child nutrition program reimbursements must go into the nonprofit food service account. In order to help provide sponsors with the latest and most thorough information, sponsors can visit the COVID-19 newsletter, which will be updated as new information is received from USDA and as new resources are created and posted. In order to help provide sponsors with the latest and most thorough information, sponsors can also visit the COVID-19 website, which will be updated with resources created by IDOE and other important information. You can also find the following resources linked on this page. Since the last webinar, IDOE has updated the frequently asked questions document. This is continually updated as new guidance is released by USDA and IDOE. Find the link to this resource on our website and in the newsletter. Since the last webinar, IDOE has updated the food and employee safety fact sheet during COVID-19 to include best practices based off the information from the Indiana State Department of Health and Indiana School Food Service. Find the link to this resource on our website and in the newsletter. IDOE has created a 2-week SSO or NSLP menu for both breakfast and lunch. All menus and menu items are to be served as cold and as a grab-and-go meal. Find a link to this resource on our website and in the newsletter. It is very important to inform parents and households about meal service locations, times, and food safety. IDOE has created several resources to help sponsors communicate to households, including parent handouts and social media posts in both Spanish and English on the School Nutrition Program's COVID-19 webpage. Looking for a meal count sheet that tracks up to 1,500 meals? View the IDOE's new extended meal count sheet available on the website. Need help filing an SSO claim? Check out the detailed SSO claim instructions found in the newsletter and on the website. Our SSO claiming instructions for Community Eligibility Provision, CEP, schools is new and can also be found in the newsletter and on the website. As a reminder, if your school is only able to serve a limited number of students because your site is not area eligible, or if your school is not operating grab-and-go meal service during the closure, then we recommend you provide households with area eligible locations that could serve them. A map showing approved SFSP and SSO open sites have been posted to the website, or households can text food to 877-877 for information on area eligible sites where they can receive grab-and-go meals. Now, since I have a captive audience, let's talk about some other updates beyond COVID-19 to help prepare for the end of the school year and with the start of school year 2020-2021. The April direct certification data is now available in the STN Application Center. Sponsors should continue to download DC matches on a consistent basis. Remember, DC status not only establishes free or reduced eligibility for the rest of this year, which is important for schools implementing NSLP or for textbook benefits, it also establishes eligibility for the first 30 operating days into the new school year for households, or until a new DC match is made or an application is processed. Consistent DC downloads are also important for establishing eligibility rates for CEP. Sponsors should continue to accept and process free and reduced applications. Right now, plenty of households are experiencing a decrease in income. They can apply with their current income information to see if they're eligible for benefits. If so, these benefits do apply for the first 30 operating days into the new school year, or until a new DC match is made or a new application is processed, whichever comes first. IDOE is working with USDA on needed updates and changes to the free and reduced letters and applications for school year 2020 through 2021. As soon as any updates and information is received from USDA, IDOE will update and revise the free and reduced letters and application. Information will be sent in the weekly email once updates have been finalized. The CEP application process is still required. However, there are a few changes from previous years. Sponsors electing to implement CEP starting school year 2020 through 2021 should include all the directly certified free students eligible program year 2019 through 2020, including those newly eligible between April 1 and June 30th to calculate their identified student percentage, ISP. Previously, data had to be determined on or around April 1st. However, this flexibility will allow sponsors more time to collect their ISP data. Sponsors are encouraged to continue completing their direct certification matches to ensure they will receive the highest ISP. As a reminder, confidential student data should never be attached to CEP applications or sent through a non-secure email. Collect the information and retain it. Field specialists will instruct you how to share it securely once your CEP application has been submitted for validation. As a reminder, the CEP application process must be completed for sponsors with CEP cycles that started in school year 2016 through 2017, as they would have just finished their 4-year cycle and will need to reply. If they would like to remain on CEP for school year 2020 through 2021. It is important to notify our office of your intent to apply, as well as we will be able to assist you through the process. For more information, please visit our website. If you're interested in applying for CEP or have any general questions regarding CEP, please contact your assigned field specialist. The USDA PLE tool for school year 2020 through 2021 is available. Each sponsor currently charging a weighted average price less than $3.09 for paid lunches will need to use the PLE tool to determine the amount to increase their paid lunch prices for school year 2020 through 2021. The PLE tool is located on the IDOE's pricing guidance webpage under Paid Lunch Equity Tool. The webpage also includes step-by-step instructions for completing the tool. Sponsors will be required to submit the completed tool as part of the renewal documents for school year 2020 through 2021. But sponsors can email them now to scnfinance@doe.in.gov at any time. Exemptions may be granted for the PLE requirements for schools that had a positive food service account balance as of December 31st, 2019. Any sponsor with a positive or zero balance in its nonprofit food service account as of December 30th, 2019 may be granted an exemption by IDOE from the PLE pricing requirements. The exemptions only exempts the sponsor from having to raise prices according to the results of the PLE tool. It does not eliminate the requirements to complete the PLE tool, as this will be used in future years' calculations. All sponsors must complete and submit a PLE tool as part of the program year renewal process. Complete the PLE exemption form located on IDOE's pricing guidance webpage and submit it along with proof of a positive or zero balance in your nonprofit school food service account as of December 31, 2019 to scnfinance@doe.in.gov. Sufficient documentation for balance of the nonprofit school food service account would be bank statements, accounting software report, or ledger printout showing the balance as of December 31, 2019. Questions? Contact the finance team at scnfinance@doe.in.gov. Due to COVID-19, IDOE has canceled the Procuring USDA Foods training scheduled for Wednesday, June 17th at MSD Lawrence Township Schools. Currently, the training on Wednesday, September 30th at MSC Warren Township Schools in Indianapolis is still being held. Those that were registered for the June training are welcome to re-register for the September training instead. Check out the training website for more information and to register. Questions? Contact Cheryl Moore at cmoore@doe.in.gov or Cindy Harris at charris@doe.in.gov. IDOE will be conducting additional webinars in May to help schools wrap up the current school year and prepare for next school year. IDOE will conduct webinars on the following topics: direct certification, the free reduced process, disclosure, and end of school year reminders. Registration has not yet been posted, but these webinars will be featured on our training website and in the weekly newsletter in the near future. Again, IDOE would like to say thank you to all of our sponsors in the state of Indiana. It has been a challenge during this time, but we see and appreciate all the wonderful work and effort displayed by the Child Nutrition Program sponsors in Indiana. We are truly thankful to have an amazing Child Nutrition Program staff diligently working to feed children in our communities. So thanks so much, and do not hesitate to reach out to your field specialists. So with that, I am going to turn it over to No Kids Hungry.
Hey everyone, this is Tara Westerkamp. I am the Indiana School Breakfast Manager for No Kid Hungry. So this is just a transition slide, so we can just keep on rolling. Awesome. So just like what Sarah said, we really just want to thank you so much for all that you're doing. All of you all are working so hard, and it is so impactful. Of every meal that you're serving your students in your community, you really are making a difference. And I know it's hard, I know it's crazy right now, but thank you so much. I've heard a lot of great stories, and they're very inspiring. You guys are really doing amazing things, and so keep up the hard work, and we'll get through this together. And so if you want to head on to the next screen, Hannah, my role really came about to be assisting with breakfast participation. You can see here on the screen kind of what No Kid Hungry campaigns look like across the nation. But right now, because of the COVID-19, my role has transitioned to emergency assistance. So you have my email here at the bottom, twesterkamp@strength.org. Feel free to reach out if you need anything in terms of assistance in terms for the emergency assistance, as well as in the future for breakfast. I do also want to just put this caveat out there. I know you guys are doing a lot in terms of posting, for your school district's website or whatever, of the stories you have. I would really appreciate it if you have time. I know it's crazy. If you could just send me a little note into my email about that story with pictures or anything like that. We really want to, promote what you're doing. I would also say to go to Facebook and the Indiana School Nutrition Professionals page. If you're not on that, you can get invited, and then I would be on that to post your stories as well. All right, next. Awesome. So like I said, breakfast was initially my role, and then it just flipped this past month or so. So right now we are still collecting nominations for a breakfast hero within your community or your schools. It could be anyone from, the principal, teacher, obviously one of your staff or custodian staff, whatever that looks like, and how they've helped your program. So I have links on my slides, and when the presentation becomes available, they are user-friendly, so click there to nominate your hero. You have till May 29th. Next. Awesome. So this is kind of where support from No Kid Hungry comes into play. There are 4 different buckets here that we could talk about. The first one, like I said, technical assistance. You can always email me in the previous slide if you have any questions or concerns. But also, if you use that link in the technical assistance block, you can also go there, and we have a link that you can sign up to be on our monthly emails or anything like that. We would love for you to be a part of that. And then the monthly webinar link does link back to our Indiana No Kid Hungry website. And so there are a lot of different resources and things you can get to be a part of. Like I said, breakfast was the main goal beginning of my role. So you'll see a lot of breakfast initiatives there, and you can check out and you can be part of those teams. We have regional task force teams. So that is how you can be involved. We'd love to have you if you're not already there. And the resources and toolkits, sorry, I'm kind of going opposite. Resources and toolkits link will take you to No Kid Hungry's specific COVID-19 technical support and resources link. And so that you can use that to go through. It's like a 1-pager, and it has different links on it to help you. We have similar things in terms of IDOE, in terms of, procedures and all of those things. It kind of links back obviously to IDOE and your field specialist, but we also have menu planning, some recipe ideas, and then also we have some information you can send to your community in terms of SNAP and those funds that families are using right now. All right, finally, in the grants link, you can look there and see our newest and updated information on our grants. I know some of you may have applied for the No Kid Hungry Emergency Feeding Grant. I do want to let you know I am not the one making that decision. So thank you so much for all that you're doing, but you will hear from our grants team. This opportunity was a nationwide grant opportunity, so we've received a lot. There's just a big need out there, and we all are aware of it. But you will hear something soon if you haven't already. Like I said, feel free to reach out to me at any moment with any questions or concerns, and I would be happy to help you. And as a team with American Dairy Association of Indiana and IDOE, we are here to help you guys. So once again, thank you guys for all you're doing.
Thank you all. This is Michelle Plummer, and I'm part of the ADAI staff, and Hannah is manning the slides, and Brooke is our scribe for the day, and we're gonna kind of pull all of this together. Next slide, please. So welcome. You've made it to the webinar. I'm so excited. We had 114 of you register for this event. So that's pretty exciting to me that you find value in this. To Tara's point and to Sarah's point, we want to hear from all of you. You are our heroes. We have heard little bits and little snippets, but one of the most important things is, as most of you know, our funding comes from the Indiana dairy farmers. The way that this works is that they like to hear what I'm doing. I could tell that I'm sitting here eating bonbons every day, but then I probably wouldn't be here very long. So what I'm asking all of you to do is send me your success stories, send me your pictures. This is from Manchester, Becky Landis. They have all of these boxes, just like all of you do. But the interesting thing is that she also sent us a video. So if Hannah can play that, and then I'll do my ask from all of you.
Fingers crossed, friends. It worked earlier today.
You can do it, I'm sure.
It's thinking about it right now.
Well, while it's thinking, I would like for you to send me at plumber@winnersdrinkmilk.com. By now, all of you have my email. Some pictures, some PowerPoint, a video, whatever you have, even if it's a little blurb, so that we can start sharing with our farmers all the great work that you're doing. This is important. This helps us get more messaging out there. How we doing, Hannah?
Well, I was going to ask, can you see my slideshow or can you see a link to the video yet? What are you seeing on your end?
I can see the video.
Okay.
I see the first picture where it says Manchester Community Schools. Technology has been working great all the time. I knew that we were going to have a glitch. If nothing else, we will put it in the transcript that we will send out tomorrow. So you'll get the recording of this.
Yes, I
Or
think
if it
so.
just,
Because it's playing for me, but because I have your slideshow open, it probably won't play for you guys. So let me get back to our slideshow and we'll move right along here. Okay.
so this is probably the perfect time for me to let you know that two things before we get to this slide. Don't look at the slide. That the last webinar, I made a mistake. Domino's is hiring bus drivers. However, Domino's is not the company that has the pizza kits. Domino's is willing to provide pizzas, but you need to set that up with Bryn. So go back to the last webinar and get her information. But that was totally my fault. For some reason, I could have swore she said kits and she didn't, she just said pizza. So not to cause them great anxiety and keep them as partners, just pizza. So the funny thing about this, these are Michelle Barger and her team, and she was not able to be on the last webinar, so she sent her treasurer, Dawn. So Dawn won the last game that we played last time, and this is everybody showing off their dairy goodies. And Michelle said I needed to crop out the face mask, but I think that they're just very appropriate. So hang on, there's a game for a very nice prize at the end. So I just wanted to share that. Again, showing you, I need to see the little pictures. I need to see what you all have. So next slide, please, Hannah. Okay, so updates. What do we need for equipment? I have vendors on here that are willing to listen to you. During the last webinar, you said you needed equipment. Cammie, I'm calling you out. She needed her cooler fixed. We set her up within 24 hours of getting a new cooler. The vendors are here to help you. I bring them in because I think you all need that help right now. You don't have enough time to do phone calls. I do. I'm the one that can be at your beck and call. Use me as your secretary. I have no problem with that. Many of you told me you needed bags. So, Hannah, if you'll go to the next slide, please. We contacted a company for lunch bags. So Howie's Tape is the name of it. And Max is at Howie's Tape, and it is a hockey company. And what hockey has to do with bags, I don't know, but he reached out to me after the webinar and said, I have cold bags. Next slide, please. And we have ordered bags. If you all said that that you needed bags on the last webinar, you've got bags coming. You're going to be divided in twos, and I kind of broke that up. The people that needed it last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago, you're getting yours out on Friday. Others that told me that they could wait are getting theirs sent out on Tuesday. So you will have these bags, and the bags are called cold bags. So they're heavier than a t-shirt bag, and they are made to keep things cold. So tell us what you want. That's my job, is to work on your behalf. And if it's a way that I can spend dairy and spend money, I promise you I will do both on your behalf. So moving on from that, Hannah, what else do I have? We wanted to hear about what your other needs are. We have all of these people. We have commercial foods that have insulated bags. We have Diversified, who just got a brand new shipment of shelf-stable milk. Sesco, I have Steve on speed dial, and I'm sure that he gets tired of hearing from me. But Marcy needed something made, and I think Steve's making it. Don't know for sure, but I think that's something that's in the works. So again, these vendors, whether it's General Mills, Prairie Farms, Domino's, Dean's, we're here to help you do what you can't do right now. So that's what we need to know. If there's something that came up in the last week, let us help you with that. Let us figure out how that need can be corrected. One of the things that was really important for a couple of our success stories was that Becky Landis up in Manchester, she reached out, and the egg company is providing dozens of eggs to her every week, but they're also providing the boxes to put the food in. They're brand new clean boxes. They have to pop them open, but then they're able to put it all in, and it's a nice sturdy box to carry food so they're not juggling. One of the other success stories is that Marcy Franks told you last week that she's working with a restaurant in her area to provide meals. They're still doing that. This is what happened this week. I got an email from Utah saying that they were worried about gallons. They were worried about taking milk from cartons to gallons. Because we had already had this webinar, because of our relationship with IDOE, we already knew that you guys were doing gallons. We knew you were doing half gallons. We were able to help other people in the country because of Vicky Coffey and because of Marcy Franks and Becky Landis, to convince them that it's okay to do gallons. And if it's a little bit more nutrition, that's okay too. So because of you, we're helping other people that don't know what to do. And I think that that is something that you all should be so proud of, because I'm tremendously proud of that. It just absolutely makes me giddy. So thank you to our sponsors. Reach out, tell me what you need, tell me what's going on, and then we can help. Next slide. We have resources, just like IDOE said that they have resources. I wrote down that their child care programs, we helped provide milk to these organizations a few weeks ago, actually for the last 3 weeks. And while some of their numbers are down, other numbers are increasing. The kids need things to do. By going to our family resource page or following us at IN Dairy, one of our coworkers, Meg Magnuson, she has 2 children, and they are doing amazing work for crafts. They're doing all kinds of fun crafts on Thursday. So it's activities for Thursday that you can use at your house, or you can share with parents to use. And so in that vein, I'm going to open it up for questions to see what you guys have before we go on to anything else. You're going to use your commodity fruit instead of canned fruit, or is this canned fruit instead of fresh fruit, Vicki? So do you have enough cups if you're going to put them in little cups? And the reason that I'm asking this question is that I have other groups asking the same thing about fruit and how you're sending that over, because I know you don't want to send a number 10 can to every household.
Hey,
I'm sure
Michelle, everybody may not be seeing the chat, so you
Okay.
might want to repeat what some of those questions were.
Oh, I can do that for you. Vicki is doing fruit cups from commodity fruit tomorrow. And then Natalie Teeters said that they use a 4-ounce styrofoam cup with a plastic lid. The biggest concern is about sealing. Does anybody have any ideas on how to help with sealing? You guys are really quiet today. That's nice. Last week I was like bombarded.
It looks like
And this is
Michelle,
good.
Natalie Teeters made a comment that they have been using the styrofoam cups with just the lids that go on top of that. And so far they haven't had any trouble with them staying sealed as long as they're on tight. So it might depend on how they're
Okay.
handing it out, if it's in a box or a bag.
Christy Nail said that they have not seen any problem with any leakage. Kathleen Prechtel said that they are using 4-ounce souffle cups with lids and they haven't had any problems. So let us know how that works and let us know what else you need help with. Are you using the idea we put up those menu items? And in the newsletter that's coming out next week that I put together, I have some options for the legumes and for the beans that you requested. Some of these came off of the National Dairy Council website. Some of them came from other sources and they're all listed. But it gives you an idea of some fun things that you can do with beans and legumes. And I've been trying roasting garbanzo beans, and I know they take a while, but the nice thing is that you can roast a ton of them and then they'll keep for a good long while. So I was thinking that that might be a fun snack, kind of like peanuts or popcorn, that sort of thing. For those handing out 5 days, Teresa wanted to know, for those handing out 5 days at a time, how are you handling entrees that are not shelf stable? Are you only serving frozen? Christy's doing frozen and then instructions. Becky's sending out meals with instructions. I know that Vicky Coffee sends out one hot meal and then on Mondays, and then the rest of the week is cold meals or shelf-stable meals. And I think all of those are viable. Are the kids getting tired? Have you heard of anything like that? Ooh, Uncrustables. That's one of my favorites, strawberry actually. But I only get them during the dairy bar time in August, so never mind, I digress. Okay, so you don't have a lot of questions. Do you have a lot of needs? Do you have any equipment needs? Do you have any wants that would make your life easier right now? So send them to me, please. The other thing is, in this whole theme of resources, I understand that you need insulated bags. So I've worked with the company to provide one insulated bag to you. If you can go to the next slide, Hannah, we have 15 seconds to tell me the answer. To how many crazy straws are in the container? This is where you guys always get crazy. with the numbers. This is good. Nobody's guessed it yet. Keep going. Christy, you can only answer once. Okay, time. And Becky Landis is the winner. So we will, Becky, how this is going to work is I will send your information to Hubert right after this call, and you will receive an insulated bag. If you have a preference of black, red, or blue, let me know what color you would like. They won't be engraved. That takes too long. Now, girls, red, please. All righty. So we plan to have another webinar in 2 weeks, if that works for you all. We want to hear your success stories. We want to hear what your needs are and how we can help you. And hopefully we can share some of the success stories, and we'll have some information for you guys on the latest updates, some new dairy things that we're working on, and some ideas of how we can continue working together during this crisis. Do you all have any last minute questions, comments, concerns?
Michelle, it looks like Teresa had asked a question about whether or not there was any word about how we'll be serving over the summer yet, and wanted to know how other people were planning for that now.
That's a really good question, and I know that that's one that we can send over. How this works is that if there's any question that we really can't answer, that would be one of them. We send it to IDOE to help, but that's also why this forum is open, so that you all can work together. Is there anything that you would like to serve this summer that would be different than what you're serving currently, that we could work with a vendor on? We have access to lots of different vendors, and possibly we could get a donation of something for fun. I don't know, but I could try, just to break it up for the kiddos. I had no idea until I asked if I could even get an insulated bag, because that seems to be a very hot commodity. I like those pouches too that JTM has, Melanie. All righty, if you have no other questions, remember I'm here all week. You can always reach me by email at plumber@winnersdrinkmilk.com, and we will send out a recording. Hannah's been recording this, and we will send out all the links, all the information, and we will see you in a couple of weeks. We'll send out that date. Thank you all. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for your dedication, and thank you for responding every time I call and ask you for something crazy. You're always right there. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great week. Bye-bye, all.